And it turns out that Val Kilmer, there's a name from the past, he's just written a memoir and he's been telling everybody he's not only single, but he hasn't had a girlfriend in over 20 years and is admitting outright he's really, really lonely these days. Loneliness is a big time issue even before this pandemic hit. But have you ladies ever been single for an extended period of time?
Can we just start with the fact that I feel actually really bad for Val Kilmer, and I think it's brave of him as a man to go forward and talk about loneliness. I think more men need to start doing this. I just think back to Val Kilmer from when I was a child, and like him in Real Genius, or him in The Doors, or him in Top Gun. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's great that he's talking about this. When we talk about, though, just dating in general, if I could go back in time and talk to my younger self, I would probably say date more. I would have just done, what I ended up doing a lot of times was dating someone, and what should have probably just been a couple of dates and then finished, ended up extending into 10 months to a year, because I don't even know why. So if I could go back, or if any young people are listening and they're doing the virtual dating thing, if it's not working, just move along, Sally. There's more adventures out there.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Sin. I have been in relationships, long-term relationships, my entire life. And for the first time in 30 plus years, I am without a partner. And this is a very, very different space for me to be in and to navigate. And I've said this before, like Val Kilmer, it gets lonely sometimes, because when you're used to having somebody there and coexisting and living a certain life, all of a sudden when that's not happening, it is very different and it's very hard sometimes. That being said, I have found myself and my voice in very, very different ways, in positive ways. And even though the loneliness comes and it goes, I am stronger now than I have ever been. And I know that. But that doesn't mean things are easy, because they're not.
I mean, the longest I've been single for is 3 years, my fun years, my no regrets type of years. But honestly, truly, guys, those are my best years, honey. If I had the photos to show, I would show. But they're my best years because I just remember moments where, and I was reading Waiting to Exhale, I was on my independent, can't tell me nothing energy. But when I was sitting there with myself in the times of loneliness, because they did come, I found that I was having some very real conversations about who I was, what I wanted in a partner, what kind of partner I wanted to be. And, when you're in a relationship for a long time, sometimes those questions get a little bit quieter, because you're having someone else's questions kind of being taken into account too. And you're making decisions for a partnership as opposed to for yourself. I always tell my single friends, the single years are your selfish, but selfish not in a bad way. They're great years because you get to have time with yourself to really hug and love yourself. But I do understand why people would feel lonely as well.
It's the single years that the stories come from and the most growth happens. So live them up.